But what I would say contextually, Anderson, is that this is more of the norm tactic in situations like this, where police give the instruction. When the instruction has failed to be heeded, they come out in big force to get rid of the problem before it grows. That's what's going on now. That's what you're seeing right in front of you.
It's
right
hard
now.
to tell.
We
see one man being arrested. How many people are being arrested? Do you know?
Two. There was a man and a woman. They were doing their best to get the protesters to stay in the street. They were kind of, in street parlance, they were punking the protesters, saying, "You're going to listen to the killers. You're going to listen to the killers." And they did. The protesters. They went back, listened to the police, got back on the sidewalk. These two did not, and they got arrested. And there have been no other arrests so far. As you can see, John, pan to the right. The protesters are all back within the where they're allowed to be. There's now officers are lined up in front of them. And again, now they're moving back into the street. We see here the instruction is not to be in the street. That's what they're being told. Now we're going to see what happens here. The officers are not giving another instruction. They've backed up. They're giving the protesters some space. They're being told to stand by their commanding officer. Now remember, Anderson, what they are told is that when the instructions are not followed, they're supposed to act in force early on. They believe that's the best way to keep control. We'll have to see what happens. You're watching it.
Do you have a sense of how many protesters there are out there, Chris, now?
Probably several hundred. It's hard to tell. There's a lot of media and there's a lot of partial media. We're listening. We're moving over. The officers are telling us to move over. I got you. I got you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's find a little bit of a better position here for John and me to show you what's going on here without becoming part of the problem. We're going to move over here to the side. One of the complications, Anderson, is that the police get hemmed in by media. There's so much media here. John, let's come up and around to this other side. We're going to go over to the protester side of this so you can see what's going on, Anderson. We're walking around here. And right now, everyone we're walking by is media. So you have a couple of hundred protesters here. You have just as many people with cameras. Who knows who they work for, if they're just doing this for themselves. All right, so now we're on the protester side, Anderson. And John and I are walking through here. The officers are starting to move back into the middle of the street and toward where we are here. The official instruction is the protests have to be on the sidewalk because they didn't close this street to protest.